Coming to you from inside the Student Center on the campus of Gold West College, it's the Chronic Tacos Rustlers Review. Of course, we're presented by Chronic Tacos Huntington Beach at Terra, where you can get up early for breakfast. Get yourself a nice hearty breakfast burrito, or if you're trying to watch the carbs, get yours in a bowl with the breakfast bowl-rito. Made fresh with your choice of chorizo, bacon, machaca, or veggie. Chronic Tacos open Sunday through Thursday from 8:30 a.m. to 9 p.m., 8:30 to 9:30 on the weekends. Located inside the Terra Shopping Center, 7621 Ettinger Avenue, or by phone at 714-890-6100. That's Chronic Tacos Huntington Beach at Terra. Make sure you visit today. I'm Rahshaun Haylock, joined, of course, as always, by Rustlers head coach Nick Mitchell. And first of all, Coach, you play this fantastic game on campus, very first time in school history. You go home and something weird happens that night. Fullerton loses to Saddleback. All of a sudden you look up at the top of the standings and it's Golden West all alone, 2-0 at first place. What was your reaction once you heard that news?
Very happy. You know, that's what we had hoped. You know, figured there's probably one team that could knock off Fullerton. I mean, they were on a roll, and it would be that Saddleback team. I checked the score early, and they were up like 14-0, Fullerton was. I said, boy, it's going to be tough to do right here. But went to sleep, woke up the next day. It's like, oh, my goodness. I said, oh. Thank the lucky stars. So, you know, that at least fell into place as far as, you know, them at least having one loss. And then you look again and you see that we're the only 2-0 team. And, you know, it's kind of that, you know, worst to first sort of deal, like in a heartbeat. There's a lot of work to be done. But at least, you know, we talked about it yesterday. You know, I mean, we control our own destiny. I mean, it's up to us. So it's a new season, as we talked about, and we're right in the thick of things right now.
Yeah, still a long way to go, obviously, but I don't know if anyone would have thought this some 3 weeks ago. Now, let's talk about the event on last Saturday right here, just a stone's throw from where we are. Golden West Field, the very first game on campus in school history, put together, of course, in celebration of the 50th anniversary. Before we talk about the game, I just want to get your thoughts on just the atmosphere and just how it was actually being able to play a game without getting on a bus.
Yeah, you know, I mean, well, first of all, not getting on a bus is unbelievable. We didn't really know what that's about. Every game we go to is on a bus, and not just any bus, but, you know, going to our rival school to play those games. To be able to just walk out of the meeting rooms, out of the locker, onto the field, and vice versa, go back in. I mean, you can't beat it, second to none. Not have to, at the end of the game, you know, usher and push and prod the players to get back away from their family, into the locker room, change, back on the bus so you can drive 15 minutes back to school again. It's always such a hassle. So, you know, there's a lot of perks to it. And then just, I mean, the environment was unbelievable. It was an actual, you know, college type of, you know, almost small college environment.
Kind of had that community feel, right?
Yeah,
you had the kids with the jumpers and everything, the tailgate and everything going on.
You know, the campus did a great job because that really wasn't the whole tailgate, you know, pre-3-hour deal before the game really wasn't anything having to do with athletics. That was the campus that put that on, and they did a great job making an environment there that people wanted to come to, hang out, bring their kids. And then, you know, the campus community and the local community heavily supported by showing up in force and really being a great crowd and being into the game throughout. And, you know, we kind of made it probably a little closer than we would have liked to. But, you know, that kind of helps the fans a little bit too, as opposed to, you know, maybe blowout. It ends up being a close game at the end, and so there's suspense to it. But they were into it the whole time. I mean, I heard them up there, you know, chanting, yelling, screaming at the refs. You know, I mean, it was like a regular college football game.
Yeah, absolutely. The atmosphere was great. The fans really got into it. It got a little tense there towards the end of towards that fourth quarter. We'll talk about that in just a sec. Let's talk about the game, though, however. 35-23 win over Palomar. And our Chronic Tacos Fresh Take of the Week this week, of course, is the Kory Garcia pick six, 37 yards. Got the scoring going on last Saturday. I guess the answer to a trivia question, right? Who scored the very first touchdown on Golden West Field? It was Kory Garcia with that big pick six. It seemed like that just kind of calmed everything down for a little bit. And you guys kind of really started to play football after that.
Right, yeah. Offense still, is a work in progress, and we'll struggle at times. And, and it was kind of a back and forth deal. Offense was struggling, and that really opened things up. The pick six made a excellent break on an out route, took that thing to the house, and really kind of set the tone from there on, got us on the board. Then the offense got going, and actually he dropped another one very similar to that about midway through the game. But that was huge to kind of get, a little bit of separation there. It's always kind of a back and forth deal that we've been going through with the first halves of throughout the season. And so that kind of sparked the offense a little bit. Then they come out and they put together a drive, and it was good. It was excellent. And then obviously to seal the game, which you said I know you're going to talk about a little bit later. But, yeah, no, he made some big plays on Saturday.
Offensively, as you mentioned, it continues to be the work in progress, but 35 points, season high. Zamari Manning, I'm running out of words to say about this guy. Those 2 one-hand grabs he had for touchdowns, probably 2 of the best catches definitely we've seen this season. One of those catches, I think the last touchdown he made, probably one of the best catches that I've ever seen. What's that like? As a coaching staff, you guys are watching him, make those types of plays. Is your heart kind of pumping, like maybe hoping that he comes up with the grab, or is it kind of like, oh, we've seen this?
Yeah, it's
old hat.
Yeah, it is old hat with him. If anything, I'm trying to get him to use 2 hands more, because it is it's too easy for him. So that's a very easy play for him, is all the one-handed catches. And actually one of the plays
the guy was holding his arm. He literally only had one arm available.
Yeah, and he'll pull that in, 99% of the time. But I tease him and talk about the old Zamari from a couple seasons ago when he used to go take the ball from people. Now he wants to wait so he can show off one-handed balls to people. But if it's in the vicinity, he's going to come up with it. He's extremely talented. Adam made some nice throws, dropping him in there. Probably wish he had a couple back, because also missed one to Zamari.
That would have went 98 yards or 97 yards or whatnot.
Yeah, and also to Sheldon White, I believe. But you make some, you miss some, and that's kind of how it goes. But he's fun to watch. We need to get him the ball more.
I guess you can say he continues to reinvent himself. As you mentioned, back in 2014, he was climbing the ladder. He was just taking the balls from guys. Now it's just like, whoop, 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 whoop. Yeah. What else can we do? Gabriel Ford, his second 100-yard rushing game of the season. I know he's been banged up. He's been battling this injury, that injury, trying to find ways to run behind that offensive line. He was able to break loose a little bit on Saturday. What'd you like from what you saw from him?
Well, he's going to run hard. Will he always run in the right hole? Well, he has a tendency to kind of like to, bounce around a little bit and, try to find his own crease. But, if he gets loose, if he gets outside, he has the speed and the physicality to really take it all the way anytime. He got some good blocks, got an excellent block from Vance and one from Zamari downfield. But, he's practicing more now. Like you said, he was beat up, and he wasn't even hardly practicing. And so, he'd kind of show up around, Friday-ish, Thursday, Friday maybe a little bit, and then try to play on Saturday. And we're just not that good to not be able to practice Monday through Friday, do everything that you need to do to prepare yourself for Saturday. He really wasn't getting that in. So now he has. Matter of fact, this past week might have been the first time in a long time that he's been able to practice Monday through Friday. So he gets all those reps that he needs. So he's not trying to do things on his own so much, and he, will follow his blockers. So that was, I think, huge too, is having him healthy again and letting him get those 5 weeks of practice in prior to this game day.
Chronic Tacos Rustlers Review right here on SportsNetUSA.net, brought to you by Chronic Tacos Huntington Beach at Bellaterre. This is Rustlers head coach Nick Mitchell. So you guys led 28-10 at the end of 3. You punch it in. Very first possession of the fourth quarter was Vance with a sneak. You go up 35-10. And all of a sudden, 13 straight scored by Palomar. One of those, just an excellent play, in my opinion, from the defensive end, Roger Mann. He had the strip sack fumble, and he takes it all the way, flips into the end zone.
Right. Yeah.
Actually, that's what I wanted to ask you about. We were having a debate in the booth. I know that there were some rule changes. What is your assessment of that? I was under the understanding that if a guy commits an unsportsmanlike or a taunting or whatnot going into the end zone, then you wipe away the 6 points. The touchdown did stand, however. What exactly is the rule?
Well, the rule is supposed to be the ball is dead where they call the penalty for him starting his celebration. So probably should have been dead around the one.
Okay.
Yeah. But, it's
still a great play.
It's a judgment call. Should his touchdown be taken away? No, I don't think so. It should be penalized for it. But, it was, we'll try to argue that and say that needs to be, downed at the 1 or the 2, wherever he started, jumping in. But you don't see it that much. And so I guess they, just decided to let it stand. And we did get the penalty enforced on the kickoff.
Yeah. And then on the kickoff, fumble on the ensuing kickoff. Desmond Bolden trying to make a play. Ball pops out, and Palomar recovers. That leads to another touchdown for the Comets. And then all of a sudden it's getting tense at Golden West Field.
It's a game again. Yeah, turnovers, we've had that problem before, in situations where we just, at the end of a game, we turn the ball over. You take away the couple turnovers at the end of the game at Long Beach City, and it's definitely a different game. Do we win it? Well, who knows? But when we don't turn the ball over, a la Saddleback, there wasn't one turnover. We can play well. We turn the ball over, man, it's 50-50.
Well, offensively, bright spot, 425 yards of total offense, 35 points, of course, a season high. That's 425 yards, a season high as well. But you give up 400 yards defensively. Have not mentioned that about this defense at all this season. So all the pomp and circumstances with Golden West Field and playing the very first home game on campus, you get a win in front of the home crowd. You wake up on Sunday morning, you're in first place, but all of a sudden you still have some things that you can correct. And I guess as a coach, that has to be a good thing, at least, that you have a lot of ammo to come into this practice week with.
Right. Yeah. No, without a doubt. And, I talked to the DBs yesterday at the end of the meeting and said, it was great to win. But, I didn't feel as good as other wins that we've had just because of how we finished the game. That second half, we were basically beat the second half, but we had such a lead and that just obviously cannot happen. There was some youth mistakes involved, some of our freshmen that were playing, they're going to make some plays, they're going to miss some plays, and that was kind of part of it, and then, of course, the turnovers.
What about the atmosphere? How much do you think that played into it?
Well, we talked a lot about that, and tried to get them, to focus on the task at hand and put out anything else that was going on around, outside the stadium, inside the stadium, which I thought they did a pretty good job of. They're young adults. It's tough, but I thought for the most part that they were able to focus and take care of business. But without a doubt, I'm sure that there was something to that. There's just too much stuff going on. There's too many people in the stands that you can't help but probably have a little bit of attention taken away from your focus.
So coming up this week, turn the page. It's now OCC week, or rivalry week, and of course we'll have the game for you right here, 6 p.m. on SportsNetUSA.net. It's the West Coast Showdown, or the Battle of the Bell, or the Bell Game, however you want to refer to it. Golden West against arch rival Orange Coast College out at LaBarge Stadium. And what do you call it? How do you reference it, first of all? You call it the Bell Game, Battle of the Bell, West Coast Showdown? West Coast Showdown is kind of new. Right. I guess they started saying that a couple of years ago.
I still say the Bell Game.
Bell Game, okay.
But I don't know. The big game, the Bell Game, the rivalry game. I use that a lot. So the Bell Game or the rivalry game is usually what it is. But
it's a huge game. Golden West leading the all-time series 25, 21, and 2. They had won 5 straight coming into last season, of course, OCC snapped that 5-game winning streak of the Rustlers in the rivalry. So you got that going for you in the sense that they snapped your streak. But also, I guess kind of the sour feelings from how last season ended, and it kind of was all triggered from that OCC game.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we, a situation where we kind of shot ourselves in the foot at the end of the game with some penalties to give them an opportunity to get down there and, take the lead with seconds left in the game. They're a good team. It's going to be a battle regardless of how either team is doing. When it's the rivalry game, anything goes. And it's college football. Anything goes. So, we've got to, continue improving on what we do. Defense, we've got to, get back to some of the basics. We kind of got away, kind of started freelance a little bit too much this past week, that we really haven't done much before. But, if we can get back doing what we do best, defensively, if the offense can, we continue utilizing Zamari, some of the rest of the receiving core, Gabe can stay healthy. Adam continues to, have that calmness in the pocket and not get rattled. I think we'll be all right.
Something interesting, kind of researching this team, getting ready for this week. They have 7 players that have thrown a pass.
Yeah.
And only 3 of those are quarterbacks. So
right.
how much do you have to be aware of your gadget plays and stuff like that?
Yeah, toss pass, bubble pass. That's something that we'll have to practice throughout the week. Their offense probably isn't as strong as they would like it, and so they look for ways to, get some cheap scores, cheap yards. And they do a pretty good job of it, so that's something that we're going to need to, focus on throughout the week. There's only so much you can do with it. If they pull it out at the right time, it's a weapon for sure. But we'll try to get a beat on it throughout the week, and, we'll talk about it. We'll watch the film on it. We'll practice it, and hopefully we'll be able to, keep that contained throughout Saturday.
And then as far as their defense goes, what are some of your concerns?
The defensive front is really good. Probably the best part of their defense. The 2 defensive ends. The D tackles are solid, are good. Last year the defensive tackles were really good. These guys are good. I don't know if they're quite to the level that they were last year. The defensive ends are excellent. Linebacking core is solid. And then the secondary is, maybe not as fast or as talented as they were last year, but they play well as a unit, probably play better as a unit than they did last year together.
From a health standpoint, how'd you guys come out Saturday?
Pretty good, which is a change. The one who we were worried about was Sebastian DeMartini.
He left the game. He's
okay, though. Okay. He's okay. Just got banged up a little bit. Came out, and he's fine. He'll be good to go for Saturday. Other than that, we're going to try to get, a couple guys that are out with concussions. Remy Harvey I think he could potentially be back Wednesday. And then Hunter Margain, I know he takes his test, his concussion protocol test today or this morning, so we'll see how that goes. I haven't heard word from him, but he's been out. Both of those young men have been out for a couple games. And Hunter being a starter and a huge part of our defensive success the first half of the season, it'd be great to be able to get him back at some point in time.
How do you like how Tommy Kramer what improvements did you see from the week prior to this week, having to kind of fill in for?
Tommy definitely had more of a comfort level the second time around, and was able to, make some plays in the open field that he didn't make last week. That's normal. You kind of you're a little more comfortable. You got a game under your belt. You're more of a veteran now. But to be honest, it also kind of takes a toll because he's such a huge part of our special teams. And now, so then, he's not, up to speed on the special teams because he's playing so much defense. So you get a little, but you give a little as well. Getting Remy back will help with the special teams as well, as will, of course, Hunter.
Yeah, Tommy also a talented long snapper for these Rustlers as well. Rivalry week, and it will be the first place Golden West Rustlers taking on OCC. They'll actually be the visitors at LaBarge Stadium on Saturday, 6 p.m. kickoff. We'll have that for you right here on sportsnetusa.net. Also, if you're going out to the game, there'll be a tailgate at 4 o'clock out there in the parking lot at OCC, so you don't want to miss that. Coach, we appreciate you for taking the time. As always,
all right,
head coach Nick Mitchell joining us here on the Chronic Tacos Rustlers Review. We'll step aside. Coming up, it will be Kory Garcia, Mr. Pick Six, Mr. Answer to your trivia question. Coming up right here on the Chronic Tacos Rustlers Review on sportsnetusa.net.
Hey guys, welcome to Chronic Tacos at Terra, Huntington Beach. My name is Caleb Walker. I'm the franchisee of this location. We've been here for over 5 years. Chronic Tacos has been around for 14 years. We got over 40 locations across the nation. Come on in. Taco Tuesday, $1.99 all day long.
Welcome back inside the Student Center for the Chronic Tacos Rustlers Review. Now listen, Tuesdays is for the Rustlers Review. Of course, we all know that. Tuesdays is also for tacos. I love chicken tacos, right? This is no secret, okay? I'm not just saying this. I live this. Check my bio, Instagram at WatchRayRay. In the bio, it says I love chicken tacos. There's no better place for you to go get some fantastic chicken tacos than our friends down at Chronic Tacos, Huntington Beach at Terra. They have fantastic Taco Tuesday specials, and they're not like those other guys, they make you pay extra for guac. No, you order your tacos, the guac is included in addition to all the other toppings that you want. You may like the chorizo, you may like the carne asada. Of course, I'm a fan of chicken. Whatever your preference, go down there. Our guys at Chronic Tacos will hook you up. I am Rahshaun Haylock. This is Kory Garcia, our Chronic Tacos Player of the Week. Kory, first of all, I got to ask you about the atmosphere out there. Very first game ever played on the campus of Golden West. What was it like to play an actual true home game this past Saturday?
Oh, it was definitely a good feeling, especially when you're out there practicing every day with the sweat, just the hard work you're putting in. Now you get to come on your home field and show them all the work you put in just to go out there and play your game. And it was just a good feeling to get out there and do it on your home field.
Of course, you do it on your home field, and it was kind of a stagnant, kind of back and forth game a little bit, knotted at 0-0, and all of a sudden you come up with this big pick six, and you take it to the house, heading straight down McFadden Street. You get into the end zone from 37 yards out. Take me through that play.
Oh, we were in cover two, and I was playing back at 7 like I was in man, trying to just bait the quarterback, and usually, obviously, you backpedal out in man, but in cover two, I just stood there for a second, and then I saw that the number 3 wide receiver running the out, and the quarterback was eyeing him. So once the number 1 wide receiver passed me, that's when he thought I was going to be on him, and he threw it. So I immediately turned. My hips were already open. I went and took that to the house. It was just simple play, simple read, great outcome.
Great outcome. Rustler faithful went crazy. Very first game on campus in celebration of the 50th anniversary. And this guy to my right scores the very first touchdown on that Golden West field. So I guess maybe 50 years later they'll be talking about this game. He'll be the answer to the trivia questions. Who scored the very first touchdown at Golden West? None other than Mr. Pick Six right here, Kory Garcia. Now, one of the things that I really enjoy about your game, I'm a fan of cornerbacks. I got to tell you that, right? That's probably my favorite position on the field. Grew up a huge Deion Sanders fan.
Oh, yeah.
So, but one of the things that I really appreciate about your game is your ability to come up and tackle. Like a lot of corners, they don't want to get their hands dirty. But you're not afraid to get in there and mix it up a little bit. You got a lot of TFLs this season as a result of that. Where did that come from?
Obviously, like you said, some corners don't like to go up and get in the mix on that. I feel like that's one of my strong points, that I can actually go in there and hold my own. I'm not the biggest guy, I'm not the strongest guy, but I definitely put my heart into my play, so I'm not afraid to go in there and tackle some big boys.
Yeah, absolutely. You do that quite well. Now, you ready to have some fun?
Oh, yeah.
All right, it's our segment we call here on the Chronic Tacos Rustlers Review. We call it 10, or First and 10, rather, right? And we just
First and 10.
We do 10 questions, kind of random, when we let some of the Rustler fans know a little bit more about you. So here we go. Number 1, nickname.
Oh, corn dog.
Corn dog.
Since the beginning.
The beginning, like when you're
I was 5 years old, 6 years old. They started calling me Corn Dog.
Where'd that come from?
I think we were at my cousin's baseball game, and I was like, let's go to Wiener Schnitzel. I want a corn dog. I want a corn dog. I just kept asking, and finally, we're going to start calling you Corn Dog.
That's awesome. Favorite sport growing up?
My favorite sport was actually basketball growing up.
Really?
Yeah.
Could you play a little shooting guard, point guard?
I played basketball all the way up until 8th grade year, and then that's my freshman year is my first year of football.
Okay. What was your game like?
Oh, I was a lockdown defender.
Lockdown defender, just like you're on the football field. So it translates. See, you don't have to just play one sport. You can play multiple sports, and some of those skills translate to the other sport. Favorite team, any sport?
Oakland Raiders.
Oakland Raiders. Favorite athlete?
Favorite athlete. Right now, it'd obviously be Derek Carr.
Derek Carr.
Of all time, Kobe Bryant.
Kobe Bryant, the Black Mamba. All right, so going back to your basketball roots, going to be weird not seeing number 24 out there on opening night here tomorrow night. Late night snack?
Peanut butter and jelly.
Peanut butter. Any particular jelly?
Strawberry.
Strawberry.
I like strawberry.
Have you ever tried apple jelly? May change your life, my friend.
No, I have not.
Peanut butter and apple jelly. Yeah, apple jelly, a favorite of mine. Favorite meal?
Favorite meal would have to be In-N-Out. It's always a go-to.
Okay.
It's never not good.
Okay. As a favorite employee, I gotta endorse that. Favorite movie?
The Benchwarmers.
The Benchwarmers.
Yeah.
Okay. Jersey number 3.
3.
Why?
Well, my cousin, he was number 3 in high school, and I always looked up to him. He trained me when I was a freshman at Villa Park, going into there as well. And he's always been just there to help me out with my game. So a little inspiration behind that. So I always like rocking number 3.
He played at Villa Park also?
Yeah.
What's his name?
Stephon Garcia.
Stephon Garcia? Nice. Pre-game ritual?
I don't really say anything. A lot of people like to say things and get excited. Mine is more like a mental battle with myself on getting ready. So I really like to just stay to myself and not really say much.
Last one, celebrity crush?
Jennifer Lawrence.
Jennifer Lawrence. That was quick with it there. Didn't even think about it. Some guys come in here, they're like, let me see. Quentin Conaway last week, he said his girlfriend. He said she's a celebrity in my heart. He tried to get points with the girlfriend.
That's a good one, though.
That is a good one.
I like that.
So coming up this week, it's the Battle of the Bell. We'll have that game for you 6 p.m. right here on sports.usa.net. Fans, make sure you go out and check the game out. Of course, you can stream the game live on your phone right there from LaBarge Stadium, and you can hear the broadcast with myself and my broadcast partner, Andrew King. If you want to get there early, there's going to be a big tailgate put on by some of the students and staff here at 4 o'clock out there in the parking lot at LaBarge Stadium. Should be a great atmosphere. It's rivalry week right here for these Golden West Rustlers. When you think about OC, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
I got to get revenge. I was out there last year when we were 8-0, and they upset us, and it was not a good feeling. So definitely looking for revenge on that one.
When you look at the tape, what are some of the things that stick out to you about this team?
Their offense, I guess, is well-rounded, you could say. They like pass and run fairly well. I feel like our D-line is going to definitely shut down their run, and obviously me and my boys are going to shut down the pass. So I think it's looking very hopeful for us as long as we put the work in this week during practice.
Coach Mitchell said he woke up Sunday morning and found out that you guys were in first place in the Southern Conference. As one of the veterans on this team, one of the leaders on this team, how do you not let guys get complacent about being in first place, knowing, just as you mentioned a little while ago, what happened at OCC or what happened against OCC last year, knowing you can't get complacent, you can't take things for granted because just like that, it could be taken from you?
Just not to get satisfied during practice, like taking even just the simple drills that we always do, just can't take it easy, always got to be going hard because just like that, it can be over. Your perfect season will be done by a team that you should have beat. So definitely that's something that I'll be helping my guys out with this week and keeping them motivated.
So the Rustlers will be hoping to be ringing the bell all night long Saturday night when they take on rival Orange Coast College. Thank you so much, Kory, for joining us here on the Rustlers Review. This is Kory Garcia. Special thanks to our guest today, Kory, along with head coach Nick Mitchell, as always. Also, a special thanks to the TSS staff here on the campus of Golden West College, people here at the Student Center, as well as the athletic department. Vivian Vu is on camera to this afternoon, and Ed Ford, of course, manning the controls. He is our operations manager at SportsNetUSA.net. Don't forget, Rustlers and OCC, Saturday, 6 p.m. right here on SportsNetUSA.net. We'll have it for you. Join myself and Andrew King bringing you all of the play-by-play. Well, that does it for another edition of the Chronic Tacos Rustlers Review, brought to you by Chronic Tacos Huntington Beach at Bella Terra. We'll see you next time right here on SportsNetUSA.net.
It's Taco Tuesday. Chronic Tacos, Bella Terra in Huntington Beach. $1.99 get you a monster taco. Do not forget the Baja sauce. You're going to love it.